The Three Little Aliens and the Big Bad Robot. Written by Margaret McNamara, illustrated by Mark Fearing. The Three Little Aliens and the Big Bad Robot. It's from 2011. And here's our dedications for my three little siblings because we always stick together, and for Lily, my little alien. Once there was a mama alien who had three little aliens. They were called Bork, Gork, and Bork, Gork, and grew up in an old-fashioned house in a snug, cozy crater on a tiny little planet. As the eons passed, their house got too crowded. It's time for you to go out into the universe and find a planet of your own, their mama told them, giving each a hug. But remember, watch out for the big bad robot. It wants to chew you up. So Bork, Gork, and took off. Bye, Mama, they cried. Bye, kids, she shouted back. Always stick together, she added. Then she sniffed a little bit. And call me every once in a while. The three little aliens traveled far and fast. There's a cute planet, said Bork. Too hot, said Nicola. What about that one? Asked Gork. Too crowded, replied Nicola. They darted around a meteor. Are we there yet? Asked Bork. Just past the next bend, a big planet, swirling with dust, loomed into view. Bork spotted a shiny space rover zipping around its mountains and plains. Awesome, she said. I'm going to live in that. Ma said to stick together, said Nagruk. But Bork had already zipped too far away to hear. Nagruk and Gork traveled on. Nagruk didn't like the looks of the next planet either. Nowhere to breathe, he gasped. Picky, Gork said. Then, just ahead, he spied a giant planet with huge golden rings around it. He jumped on a passing satellite and caught a ride on a ring. Whee, he squealed. This is what I call home. We can't live on a ring that goes around in circles, yelled Nigruk. We'll get dizzy. But Gork wasn't paying any attention. Now, Nigruk was all alone. He traveled deeper and deeper into space until he spotted a massive blue planet far out in the galaxy. It had 13 moons and refreshing breezes. This faraway place is where I'll build my home, he said. It will be safe from the big bad robot. Nigruk found everything he needed to make sturdy walls. He gathered stardust to keep his home bright and found solar panels to keep it warm. Then he grabbed a tall, shiny telescope. This'll do for a chimney, he said, though no one heard him. Rock by rock and row by row, Nigruk built the perfect house. When he was finished, he sat down and locked the door. His house was not very zippy or cool, but it was very safe, and there was room enough for all three little aliens. I hope they come to visit soon, said Nigruk. Then one galactic dawn, there was a rumbling in the universe. Greep, boink, meep, peedly, deep, ork, eep. It was the big bad robot. Bork was so busy on her swirly red planet that she couldn't hear the robot's call. She didn't feel its giant footsteps as it leapt from star to star, and she didn't see the robot until it was right in front of her rover. Little alien, bleeped the robot. Pull over, pull over. Not by the wheels of my trusty space rover, called Bork bravely. Then I'll crack and smack and whack your house down, meeped the robot. And just like that, the robot cracked and smacked and whacked Bork's shiny rover into 100 pieces. Greep, boink, meep, beedly, deep, ork, eep, eep. Beedly, deep, ork, eep, eep. As fast as the speed of sound. Oh, I missed it. As fast as the speed of sound, Bork jetted away, the robot close behind her. Just as the robot was about to eat her up, she spotted Gork's satellite house. Gork, Gork, help me, she cried. But Gork was having so much fun surfing on the rings of his giant planet that he didn't hear Bork's cries. He didn't see the robot chomping on comets and ripping open black holes until the big bad robot caught Gork's satellite in his huge metal claw. Little alien, it broinked, come out of hiding. Not by the orbit of this ring I'm riding, cried Gork stoutly. Then I will shatter and clatter and scatter your house down, groaned the robot. And before Gork could fly beneath the radar, that robot clattered and scattered and shattered Gork's satellite into 1,000 pieces. Gork barely escaped. Over here, called Bork, stick together. At the speed of light, Bork and Gork blasted out into space with the big bad robot getting closer all the time. Great, boink, meep, Bork, deep, beedly, eep, eep, eep. Where can we hide? Asked Gork. Let's find Nagluwick, cried Bork. He'll know what to do. Nagluwick had heard the robot's roar. He had seen what was going on with his brother and sister through his telescope, and he was ready. He flashed his solar panels halfway across the universe. There he is, cried Bork and Gork, and they zoomed in Nagluwick's house as fast as a hurtling asteroid. Get inside, cried Nagluwick. No time to waste. No sooner had Bork and Gork slammed Nagluwick's solid space rock door than they heard the robot rumbling. Little alien, he queaked. Let me come in. Not by the slime on my chinny chin chin, cried Nagluwick. Then I will smack and crack and whack your house down, zeeped the robot. The big bad robot bashed and crashed Nagluwick's strong, solid house. Nothing happened. Then it pounded and smashed really hard. Not a crack. Then it loaded up its triple blaster and zapped that house, but good. That house would not fall down. So the robot forced its way into the little alien's house right down the chimney. Greet-a-deep. The aliens covered their ears and waited for the robot to chomp them up. But halfway down the telescope, that robot got stuck tight. It strained and it struggled. It moaned and it groaned. Nagluwick's house shook and shuddered, but did it fall down? It did not. The robot gave one more mighty cry and burst into a million pieces. Cool, said Bork. Awesome, said Gork. Just as I planned, said Nagluwick. There's just one thing missing, said Bork. Phone home, said Gork. So Nagluwick did. Ma, he said, we have the coziest house in the galaxy. Won't you come over and tuck us in? And she did. Author's note. This book is not a science book, but there is a little bit of science in the aliens' travels. The aliens and their mama live on Mercury, the smallest planet, which is closest to the sun. When the aliens leave home, they pass all the other planets in our solar system in order of the planet's distance from the sun. They start by zipping past Venus, which is the brightest planet in our night sky. Next, they pass Earth, our home, the watery blue planet, and after that comes Mars, the red planet. Then the two alien brothers fly by the fifth planet from the sun, Jupiter, which is made out of gases, and come to Saturn with its glorious rings. The last little alien passes Uranus, whose atmosphere is icy, and finally settles on Neptune, where winds blow as fast as 1,290 miles per hour, the farthest planet from the sun. Mark Fearing researched the planets so that he could depict them as accurately as possible and based their coloration on photographs provided by NASA. All 8 planets are shown on the end papers, though the distance between them is not to scale. For more information about our solar system, you can visit www.nasa.gov. Margaret McNamara has published many books for children, among them How Many Seeds in a Pumpkin, illustrated by G. Brian Karras, which won a Christopher Award, and the popular Robin Hill School Series, a series of early readers. Margaret lives with her family in a big brick building with 2 cozy elevators in New York City, where she is at work on a new book for Schwartz and Wade, George Washington's birthday. Mark Fearing is the illustrator of The Book That Eats People by John Perry, called Irresistible by Publishers Weekly, and a hilariously dark story by School Library Journal. He has studied here and there and worked there and here. He likes ice cream and he loves to draw. Mark lives outside Portland, Oregon, in a house crowded with a bazillion books, 2 dogs, a cat, a daughter, and a wife, who all help keep the big bad robots at bay. You can visit him online. And there's the end page. You might have to turn it a little bit. So they're not to scale, but we have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed that.